Better Call Saul, episode 12. Wow. There's not really much else to say at this point. I'm running out of adjectives for the show. Just wow. It's once again an episode that takes its time, but it delivers so much in that time. But it was also a very depressing episode, and I think probably the most depressing we've had. And it has me longing for the episode set before Breaking Bad, the majority of Better Call Saul, in colour with Jimmy McGill scheming and Kim by his side and the drama with his brother. Kim returns here with a new hairdo, living a new and not improved life, a life that is very monotonous and dull, not bringing her the joy and excitement that she had when she was a lawyer in Albuquerque, and that's quite sad to see. It's a shame that she has ended up in this position, considering she used to have so much fun before. Her call with Gene as well was depressing as well, because there's not any Jimmy left there, and if there is, it is very, very suppressed under the surface, and it's sad to see because he doesn't treat her nice. He's rude to her on the phone, and it's like he's disappointed that she hasn't morphed into the monster that he has, in a sense, because he's become this very sort of no-nonsense and doesn't give a shit kind of guy. That's his attitude now, and it's like he can't, dig deep down and realise who he used to be, who Jimmy and Kim used to be. And of course, her suggesting that he should turn himself in is kind of just the thing that emphasises this. He's insulted at that idea, and she's disappointed. He's disappointed even that she would even suggest something like that. Her visit to Saul in the flashback sequence also emphasised how he's lying to himself and burying who he really was and how he really feels very deep down, trying to play it very cool and casual during the signing of divorce papers, which is probably killing him inside. And it's like he's so engulfed in the persona that he can't even remember the feelings. He can't even really feel them anymore because he's so good at burying them and avoiding them. The nice thing to come from this scene was the fact that Kim and Jesse met, which was a really cool moment, because these two characters are like the side characters of both the shows, and they're actually the ones that deep down have a good heart, and even though they've made mistakes, ultimately they mean well and they are aware of their mistakes and they want to get on the right path in the end. So it felt like a special moment to have these two characters meet. I thought it was very, very cool. It's always something fans have sort of theorized about, like, wouldn't it be cool if like Kim and Jesse met, because they're kind of like similar characters and similar to who they mean to the main character in a sense. But I never thought we'd actually get it, so that was a really cool moment. And of course, Jesse asking Kim if Saul is a good lawyer, and she says, "He was when I knew him." I wonder if that line is enough for Jesse to really consider Saul in the future. Is that the thing that made him recommend Saul to Walt, and then what ends up getting the three of those people involved in all the crazy things that happen in Breaking Bad? I wonder if, she had a little influence on that. It's hard to say. Maybe it was just because Saul dealt with Emilio's problem that, that's why Jesse goes back. But maybe Kim did have some influence there. It was cool that there was a mention of Combo and that Kim represented him when he was a juvenile. I thought that was cool. And also, like I said, seeing Emilio again, which, not long after that scene, he's going to end up being burnt in acid by Jesse. So, it's very cool to see little, these characters sort of showing up here and there. Back in the black and white, Kim's confession to Cheryl was one that needed to happen, but at that time, Kim still can't see what the real issue is. He didn't suffer is a sign that Kim never really understood what the issue was with what they did, Granted, she definitely felt the guilt at the time, but the fact that she going to Cheryl and thinking that, it was a quick death, he didn't suffer, but his reputation suffered, and they took down a very hard-working and good man, even if he wasn't to everyone's taste. And I think Kim's breakdown is a sign of the fact that she never really faced the guilt of that moment. She just sort of ran away from it and buried it. Similar to what Jimmy's doing with his personality, in a sense. He's burying stuff, and Kim buried stuff, and now she's kind of finally awake. The call from Gene really woke her up, and she realised that she can't keep living like this, hiding the truth. She needs to get it all out there. As for Gene, he's taking chances, he's pushing the limits, and staying in that house too long leads to Jeff making a diversion, and then Jeff getting arrested, And then when Gene calls his mother, he gives way too much away on the phone because he's cocky. He thinks he's, walking on water. He really feels like he's on top of the world, like he can get away with anything. And that, of course, leads Marion to realize who her new friend really is. In this moment, Jimmy McGill becomes the worst version of himself that we've ever seen in all the shows. He becomes the worst version because he's actually considering killing an old lady, strangling her with a phone cord. He's considering it. But it's her words, that very important line where she says, "I trusted you." Now, if you remember back, Jimmy McGill, a lawyer you can trust, that is, that was what he went by. And that was really a line that applied to him when he was working in elder law, helping elderly ladies and elderly guys, dealing with their wills and, when they were being vulnerable. So here, when she says, "I trusted you," I feel like that sunk into him. And it brought back the memories of he used to be someone that elderly people really looked up to. And he was actually on a great path there. That was actually when Jimmy McGill was his best self, when he was helping these old people. And in that moment with Marion, he was being everything that he promised his clients he wouldn't be. He was being, threatening and mean and untrustworthy. So I think that's what really sunk into him. That's why he let her press the, emergency alarm, and why he just let her go, because he couldn't do that, and that really would have been a step too far. I think if he'd done that, us viewers would have been like, "What the fuck? This is not right." So it's good that Gene did not kill the old lady. The closer we get to the end, the more I feel like a not so happy ending is what we're gonna get. It feels like Gene can't keep running. He needs to face who he is and what he's done, because he can't keep going and going and going. He has to just realize that he has gone too far. As for Kim, she can't hide from the guilt anymore, and obviously she's let out information about what really happened to Howard, and you just feel like her and Jimmy are both going on these pivotal paths to what's going to be the end of their story. I mean, of course it's going to be, because it's next week is the last episode, but it feels very pivotal, today's episode. It really did take these characters to the point where they can't run anymore. The preview for next week shows a ruined car, and it looked like Jimmy's original crappy yellow car. Maybe that's, it's still in that ditch from all those years ago. And alongside this, we hear an out-of-breath Jimmy, or Saul, or Gene, I'm going to guess it is, and he's requesting a Hoover Max Pressure Pro Model 60. So that's interesting. It's like he's going to try and escape one more time. He's going to try and get out of there one more time, but maybe it'd be a case of that service isn't available anymore. Or maybe it'd be a case of he realizes he can't run anymore. Of course, he's been making money from this scam he's been running, and it feels like the reason he was running the scam was not actually because he needed the money, but because he needed something to do. He wanted something to do because he was so mad and insulted at the fact that Kim said he should turn himself in. So he really just wanted to keep himself occupied in that sense. And now that he's made a fair bit of money, I guess he sees, escaping again, requesting the Hoover Max Pressure Pro Model 60 as an option. But of course, he can't keep running, like I said, and next week will be the end of his story. It's just a question of how it's going to end, and I hope it's a happy one. I really want Kim and him to be reunited, but it seems less and less likely as the episodes go on. We can only hope. This was intense, this was brilliant, and it's really bothering me that we've got to wait another week for the final episode, but it's for the best, because I don't want this to be over yet. So I need to enjoy this week while this show is still an ongoing thing. But yeah, today's episode was brilliant. 9.5 out of 10. Not much else to say, is there? If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.